You fool! Warren is dead. Welcome to HorrorBabble. Today we've got a selection of curiosities in store for you. 3 short works by H.P. Lovecraft, 2 peculiar collaborations, and a poem performed by Jennifer. And without further ado, Collapsing Cosmoses by H.P. Lovecraft and R.H. Barlow. Dambor glued each of his 6 eyes to the lenses of the cosmoscope. His nasal tentacles were orange with fear, and his antennae buzzed hoarsely as he dictated his report to the operator behind him. "It has come," he cried. "That blur in the ether can be nothing less than a fleet from outside the space-time continuum we know. Nothing like this has ever appeared before. It must be an enemy. Give the alarm to the Intercosmic Chamber of Commerce. There's no time to lose. At this rate they'll be upon us in less than 6 centuries. Hackney must have a chance to get the fleet in action at once." I glanced up from the Windy City grab bag which had beguiled my inactive peacetime days in the supergalactic patrol. The handsome young vegetable, with whom I shared my bowl of caterpillar custard since earliest infancy, and with whom I had been thrown out of every joint in the intradimensional city of Castellar, had really a worried look upon his lavender face. After he had given the alarm, we jumped on our ether bikes and hastened across to the outer planet on which the chamber held its sessions. Within the great council chamber, which measured 28 square feet with quite a high ceiling, were gathered delegates from all the 37 galaxies of our immediate universe. Old Stoff, president of the chamber and representative of the Milliners Soviet, raised his eyeless snout with dignity and prepared to address the assembled multitude. He was a highly developed protozoan organism from Novkas, and spoke by emitting alternate waves of heat and cold. "Gentlemen," he radiated, "a terrible peril has come upon us, which I feel I must bring to your attention." Everybody applauded riotously, as a wave of excitement rippled through the variegated audience, those who were handlers slithering their tentacles together. He continued, "Hackney, crawl upon the dais." There was a thunderous silence, during which a faint prompting was heard from the dizzy summit of the platform. Hackney, the yellow-furred and valorous commander of our ranks through numerous installments, ascended to the towering peak inches above the floor. "My friends," he began, with an eloquent scraping of his posterior limbs, "these treasured walls and pillars shall not mourn on my account." At this point, one of his numerous relatives cheered. Well do I remember when... Old Stoff interrupted him. "You have anticipated my thoughts and orders. Go forth and win for dear old Intercosmic." 2 paragraphs later found us soaring out past innumerable stars, toward where a faint blur 500,000 light-years long marked the presence of the hated enemy, whom we had not seen. What monsters of malformed grotesqueness seethed out there among the moons of infinity we really didn't know, but there was a malign menace in the glow that steadily increased until it spanned the entire heavens. Very soon we made out separate objects in the blur. Before all my horror-stricken vision areas there spread an endless array of scissor-shaped spaceships of totally unfamiliar form. Then, from the direction of the enemy, there came a terrifying sound, which I soon recognized as a hail and a challenge. An answering thrill crept through me as I met with uplifted antennae this threat of battle with a monstrous intrusion upon our fair system from unknown outside abysses. At the sound, which was something like that of a rusty sewing machine, only more horrible, Hackney, too, raised his snout in defiance, radiating a masterful order to the captains of the fleet. Instantly, the huge spaceship swung into battle formation, with only 100 or 2 of them many light years out of line.
Festival by H.P. Lovecraft. There is snow on the ground, and the valleys are cold, and a midnight profound blackly squats o'er the wold. But a light on the hilltops half seen hints of feastings unhallowed and old. There is death in the clouds, there is fear in the night, for the dead in their shrouds hail the sun's turning flight, and chant wild in the woods as they dance, round a Yule altar, fungus and white. To no gale of earth's kind sways the forest of oak, where the sick boughs entwined by mad mistletoes choke. For these powers are the powers of the dark, from the graves of the lost druid folk. And mayest thou to such deeds be an abbot and priest, singing cannibal greeds at each devil-wrought feast, and to all the incredulous world showing dimly the sign of the beast.
The Slaying of the Monster by H.P. Lovecraft and R.H. Barlow. Great was the clamour in Leyen, for smoke had been spied in the hills of the dragon. That surely meant the stirrings of the monster who spat lava and shook the earth as he writhed in its depths. And when the men of Leyen spoke together, they swore to slay the monster, and keep his fiery breath from searing their minaret-studded city and toppling their alabaster domes. So it was that by torchlight gathered fully 100 of the little people, prepared to battle the evil one in his hidden fasthold. With the coming of night, they began marching in ragged columns into the foothills beneath the fulgent lunar rays. Ahead, a burning cloud shone clearly through the purple dusk, a guide to their goal. For the sake of truth, it is to be recorded that their spirits sank low long ere they sighted the foe, and as the moon grew dim and the coming of the dawn was heralded by gaudy clouds, they wished themselves more than ever at home, dragon or no dragon. But as the sun rose, they cheered up slightly, and shifting their spears, resolutely trudged the remaining distance. Clouds of sulphurous smoke hung pall-like over the world, darkening even the new-risen sun, and always replenished by sullen puffs from the mouth of the monster. Little tongues of hungry flame made the Leyenians move swiftly over the hot stones. "But where is the dragon?" whispered one, fearfully, and hoping it would not accept the query as an invitation. In vain they looked. There was nothing solid enough to slay. So, shouldering their weapons, they wearily returned home, and there set up a stone tablet graven to this effect: "Being troubled by a fierce monster, the brave citizens of Leyen did set upon it and slay it in its fearful lair, saving the land from a dreadful doom." These words were hard to read when we dug that stone from its deep, ancient layers of encrusting lava. If you enjoyed listening today, be sure to subscribe to the channel by hitting the red subscribe button below. After doing so, click the bell icon next to the subscribe button to receive new content notifications. If you'd like to support our work and receive exclusive perks, consider becoming a channel member by clicking the join button below. To support us in other ways, see the video description for links to our Bandcamp and Patreon pages, our merch store over at Teespring, and further information relating to our releases on Audible, iTunes, and Spotify. And until next time,